The draft 2023-2024 budget has been revised down by 30 billion shillings to 3.6 trillion shillings. This follows the reduction of 24.9 billion shillings on the vote for the executive and another 5.2 billion shillings on the Consolidated Fund Services. To fund the budget, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Prof.Njuguna Ndung'u says the government will borrow 663.5 billion shillings, of which 80% will be borrowed locally.
Initially, the draft 2023-2024 budget was set at 3.63 trillion shillings. This has now been slashed by 30 billion shillings, reducing the total budget to 3.599 trillion shillings. This means executive's vote reduces to 2.16 trillion shillings, Parliament to get 40.4 billion shillings, the judiciary to get 22.99 billion shillings, and counties to share out 385.4 billion shillings.
The most important thing is to reflect on the robust activities coming from specific sectors like wholesale and retail, trade, accommodation and food services, education and information communication. As such, the economy is expected to remain resilient just because of these sectors that are quite vibrant, even though they are coming from a low base. And we do believe that the economy is likely to grow at 5.5% in 2023.
The government plans to borrow 663.5 billion shillings, mostly from the domestic market, raising concerns about how this could crowd out the private sector in the credit market as well as increasing the public debt.
Special focus will be placed on increased employment, more equitable distribution of income, social security, while also expanding the tax revenue base and increased foreign exchange earnings. The implementation of these interventions is expected to stimulate economic recovery to 5.5% growth in 2023 from 4.8% in 2022.
You took away about 3 billion from Equalization Fund. I think it went to NGCDF. So I want a very direct answer where that 3-point-something billion is, because equalization should have been about 11.4 billion.
We have a financing constraint now. It's not even a budget constraint, it's a financing constraint. So that going into next year, we also have huge challenges. So we have proposed what is practically possible, Chair.
Legislators tasked the government to come up with measures that will ensure every shilling is accounted for.
We're putting in too much money, spreading ourselves thinly across so many projects, yet we are not driving no benefit. So there's no value for money to the people of Kenya. And the committee was thinking strongly, why don't we collapse, put that money together into one basket, allocate it to one or two projects, complete them.
We want to make sure that the efficiency within which we are going to plan new projects, new programs, or even new activities is actually programmed along the value chain.
Other than drawing money into projects, we want to appropriate money to processes. Why? When you appropriate money to processes that you can trace, then you are able to know, once I appropriate this money this much here, I'm likely to get this outcome the other side this much. That is why we are taking a value chain and you are going with it through all the dots up to the output.
Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.